Let me add to the sage. Now we got actually a special treat. We're going to have a chat with Gassan about why he chose Wisdom for his UNV to UNX. I recall was about 60,000 documents. It's always great
Yeah.
to hear customer insights. So let's go into it and see what Gassan has to say. So, Gassan, thank you very much for joining. And I love Pink Floyd behind you. So, as always, I tell you that each time. So, anyway, great to have you today.
They're here to stay anyway, but yeah, we had a project migration from our backend from DB2 to Snowflake. So we had a lot of universes with actually monster universes connected to thousands of documents. And we took the opportunity also to, so the project was twofold: migrate DB2 from to Snowflake, and then upgrade the universes and repoint the documents, the ones connected to DB2. But we took the opportunity also to whatever we have many backends, and they have like UNV universes. So we took this opportunity to convert from UNV to UNX, regardless of the backend. So the whole thing was delivered last mid-December last year, and then it was a good experience using your tools to facilitate this migration, regard whether you're UNV, UNX, or for a change in the backend. So we did have to do a lot of tests, and with limited resources and budget, we were able to deliver like on time last year.
And boy, I know you guys were really limited on resources, especially in
Yeah.
your business. I know margins are tough, so a dollar is a dollar for you guys. So I know you're always trying to get the most out of it. And like out of that project, how many people were really doing the work?
Well, actually, we couldn't afford to have the business involve the business and the processes, especially the validation process, because well, everybody is overwhelmed, and then we have a special context that we couldn't afford to take people from departments and they have them to validate their content. So what we did is me and my colleague, we split the tasks, and then we will address the universes for special departments, and then we will see which documents were we mostly used, which ones are running like a publication using this 360 eyes the tool. So we're able to tell which documents are actually active, which ones seem to be critical, and then we took it on ourselves to do the migration with the 360 suite tools.
And
I
yeah,
wanted to mention that we wanted to use the automation framework, the one that comes by default with this tool, with
okay.
SAP. Unfortunately, we couldn't use it for more than 10, 50 documents per universe. And then we have thousands and thousands of documents, and probably half of them are active. So we really had to use a tool that will facilitate and then make it easy to deliver on time and on budget.
So you're saying things just didn't work with the migration tool provided with the automation framework. Is
It
that what you're
didn't
saying?
work. Usability, it's hard, and then the hardest part is, yes, you will be able to migrate to UNV to UNX, and then if you have like 10, 20, 50 documents max, you can go still, and then you do it with manually do it. But then when it comes to testing, and if your document returns like hundreds of pages, and then how can you compare to see where's the discrepancy? So the comparison tool the 360 suite provides, we could do it visually and then instantly. It's just a matter of running a report in let's connecting to DB2, and in our case, and running the same document connecting to Snowflake, and take an extract and visually see what the differences are. It's like,
Yeah.
to the naked eyes, you won't see the tabs and the blanks, and then this you couldn't see, but it's still there, and then you don't see the decimals, because going from UNV to UNX, somehow the same documents, there was a rounding, they were rounded in the new version. So yes, it's hard. The small details that are hard to see, you can have the decision, okay, like a decimal, yeah, because it's a rounding
Right.
issue, but it's not an error. So the document still goes live.
So a lot of people say, "Hey, do I need to validate my reports after I went from UNV to UNX?" So, have you seen regressions, Gassan?
Well, we went by batches, because
Obviously, yeah.
we didn't want to do a big bang thing, and then only to realize we have an issue. So we split our migration to batches, and we use the 360 suite to create an administration task to do the conversion, follow up with the users, make sure that they're okay with the result, and then accelerate the execution of the remaining batches. So we didn't have to go into regressions, because everything tested as we wanted.
Right. But
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 we
obviously,
still
I
had.
assume you found regressions. I mean, where you could catch them before they were in prod.
Yeah, yeah, okay, exactly. This is what why, and especially when we're moving from one backend to another, there's a syntax. The SQL syntax is not 100% the same, and we have complex queries. So yeah, this is where what we needed to confirm, that we connect to the new backend, and run the test, and then decide if it's a go or no go for the batch. And we couldn't rely also, and if in case we run into errors, we still had the backup, the 360 suite backup running. So we could we had the luxury of to we have the luxury to, like, selective rollbacks in case we run into issues. But unfortunately, we didn't have any issues. Everything
And
was
if I recall, for your 60K thousand documents, I think without 360, you would have needed one person for over a year to do that process, not even validating.
even more,
Yeah, I think it was more than
especially.
2 years. But yeah,
Yeah, it's even especially because we have many custom SQLs written, and
right.
these needed to be validated, because we have critical reports, unfortunately, in custom SQL. So being able to deliver fast on the regular documents, we had enough time to address the custom SQL ones and fix them manually one by one, like we were two persons.
So just to sum up initially, so before going to us, you looked at what SAP had, and then
Yeah.
you found some limitations where it was okay to do one, just a few, but if you wanted to do things in bulk, it was just not working. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. We made a proof of concept, just to
Oh,
justify the need to have to invest on a tool, and then for less a month's proof of concept, we were not able to get anywhere close to what we needed to do before the end of the DB2 contract. We have a time limitation. We cannot renew the DB2 contract, because we signed with Snowflake. So
okay.
we were fine, and then thanks to the tool, we were able to deliver, like, on time and on budget.
And I know that was important on that. So, and I know even you guys had looked at hiring to do things more right shore, near shore, offshore, and at the end is you decide to do things internally. So
But you need to know a bit. We know a lot more. We need to the back end. We know the business, and we know
right.
the user. So we cannot just ship this somewhere, and then only back end to go back and forth, and this and then so. And like I said, we needed to with the to in to get the business involved to a minimum, because of lack of resources, and lack of understaffed. Some departments are
Yeah, and most of the time people don't try to get the business involved. However, sometimes it's the case. So you need to again even more automate things for the business. So make things as
this
easy
is the reason
as
why we went
possible.
with the automation tool that you guys
Yeah.
provided us, and then it helped us a lot.
Hey, Gassan, thank you very much. Just stay on for a couple seconds. JF, are you still on? Yes, he is. I'll add him to the stage. I'll just take a couple
Hello.
questions before we go to the BI 2025. Okay, so here we got a question from Michael. Are used universe objects based on their inclusion in Webby reports or based on refresh activity? We still have many users using WRC, so their information is not in the repository.
Go ahead.
Well, it's there's
Go
many
ahead.
many parts to that question. Oh no, go ahead, Gassan.
Go ahead,
Please.
Gassan.
The thing is that we in a previous upgrade we made sure we got rid of the full clients because the distribution, the software was costing at certifying and distributing was causing it was too expensive and many issues, especially when it comes to the Java version installed on each and every machine. So we always had issues with the Java because the same machine would have like a requirement for certain version of Java for an application, that critical application, and it won't work with the Webby Reach client. So we managed to make everything go live Webby, especially that was the new the recent one, the latest 4.2 version of Webby. It's very close to what we see the functionalities provided on the desktop. So yes, everything was in the platform and we had visibility on what's going on. And for our case, we had to minimize the documents. Like we didn't want to migrate obsolete documents. So make the 360 eyes tools provided us with the functionality where we can tell when was the last time a document viewed, retrieved, refreshed, whatever. So then we decide, okay, this we flag for migration, for repointing. The other one, I send a list to the users and make sure they delete them. I get their word on the deletion. So I would rely on when was the last time the document used to make sure that it's a required document.
There is another question here from Srinivas. So, I don't know what SAP is going to do actually, but Srinivas, this is why we're here to educate the community. And it's something that you can definitely do with wisdom. I think, as Gassan pointed out, is I think things didn't work too well for you.
No, unfortunately, yeah.
So we love to talk to you after the event, and we could do a chat of that. Okay, then let's take another question here. Okay, let's go another one. Okay, we got another question about the Tomcat version that we will be covering after that. Is there any change in the license model for BI 2025? No, it's the same. And then you will have all the new functionalities with the interactive dashboards that are going to be in BI 2025. So you'll be able to use that as not only a reporting solution, but also as a dashboard solution, and it's going to be fully supported by SAP. Srinivas also had a question: is the reporting solution price based on a number of reports, or it comes as a package? It comes as a package, and then we can chat after on that. I think Gassan, you were saying at the end it was fairly competitive versus doing it internally or outsourcing.
Yeah, and we're gonna be using it for our move from 4.2 to 4.3. So
okay. Is this taking into account the personal documents too? Current process only lets us convert public documents. Who wants to take that
That is,
question?
yeah, that's correct. It takes also the personal documents. I'll be quick to mention that the inboxes are not covered because they're not meant as a storage location. But personal documents, yes.
Can we get inventory lists of all Webby reports and corresponding UNV with 360, mainly to coordinate testing, activities?
Short answer, yes, of course.
Okay, let's be quick here. Does the 360 suite, Wisdom 360 suite, will show the error message if any data discrepancy when we validate the data between UNVs and UNX Webby reports?
I'm not exactly sure which error message we're referring to, but if any error arises during the conversion or the repointing process, it will be captured in the log. The validation itself simply compares working documents between each other.
Also, do we have option to compare SQL syntax after converting UNV to UNX? Maybe Gassan, you know that question, that answer,
Uh,
or not, or maybe Jeff knows.
well, the thing what the tool does, it runs the webby and then it creates an extract. So it doesn't tell you what's the new syntax is, because the syntax you're gonna fix it. You fix it when you convert the universe from UNV to UNX. But when the report executes it, it just takes a copy, an instance of your report, and creates an XML output, and then it compares the XML files.
Yes, but however, if I can expand on that, um, aside from the validation, we have the auditing feature, which will in fact capture the SQL from there. So yes, if you're looking for that, it is available.